Welcome back to Our Chicago. I'm Tanya Babich. Joining me now is Jack Darren, director of the Illinois Sierra Club. We're talking about the environmental and health benefits of having more electric vehicles on roads across the state. Well, good morning, Jack. Thank you for speaking with us.
Good morning, Tanya. It's great to be here.
In the cost-benefit analysis between gas-powered vehicles and electric, where are we falling these days? You know, a lot of people are inclined to believe that electric vehicles are simply cost prohibitive.
Yeah, that is changing very quickly, and I think it's poised to head even further in the right direction in the years to come. And when you think about, there's two costs, right? At least two costs with a vehicle. There's the purchase price, but then there's the operational cost and the fuel. And of course, there's a cost to buying an electric vehicle, but the cost of the fuel is very minimal, especially if you can charge at night. Electricity can be a much cheaper way to power a car than gasoline, and maintenance is also much cheaper and more infrequent than with a internal combustion engine car.
Well, who are EVs well suited for?
I think EVs are well suited right now for people whose commutes are under 50 miles a day and who have access to charging. And that's really key in making electric vehicles accessible to everyone, is really building out that charging infrastructure so that everyone has access to it, regardless of what kind of home they live in, where they work, and opportunities to stop along the way.
We've talked a little bit about the financial cost of electric vehicles, but what about the environmental cost? Can you give us some perspective on the threat that's posed by gas and diesel emissions?
Yeah, very significant environmental toll by the way we're currently moving ourselves around and the way we're moving our freight around. Transportation, when it comes to climate change, transportation is now the #1 source of the emissions that are contributing to the climate crisis. And scientists are telling us we're in the last decade if we're going to have a chance of averting the very worst consequences. We're seeing consequences, of course, right now, but we still have a chance for the rest of this decade to make deep reductions in those. And a lot of those have to come from the transportation sector. And that's why it's so encouraging that there are so many new varieties of electric vehicles on the market now, and even more coming in years to come. It's also a really health problem in neighborhoods at the local level. Diesel emissions and car emissions contribute to asthma, to COPD, a whole host of conditions that are very deadly, particularly in communities that are suffering most from the pandemic and are dealing with other sources of pollution as well.
How big of a dent can we realistically make in our air quality with electric vehicles? You say that we have to dig deep. How realistic is that?
I think it's very realistic. You know, finally, the technology is here, the prices are coming down, and that's going to continue in the future. So it's not going to happen overnight. But as we begin to turn over our vehicle fleet to electric vehicles in the years to come, again, transportation is the largest source of emissions on things that cause things like ozone alert days here in Chicago. And so the more we can electrify not only our passenger vehicles, but our freight vehicles, our air is going to become a lot cleaner fairly soon.
Can you give us some perspective on just how the governor's goal of putting 1 million electric vehicles on Illinois roads by 2030 might contribute to that?
Yeah, I think that Illinois is in a really particularly exciting position because historically we've played a pretty large part in the conventional vehicle assembly industry. We have 3 auto assembly plants in Illinois. We've got a lot of manufacturers that contribute to the supply chain. And so we're really poised well to locate electric vehicle manufacturers. We have one coming into central Illinois already. And so the governor rightly is very enthusiastic about this, not only as an environmental measure, but a real economic development measure for the opportunity to produce electric vehicles and produce the parts that they need right here in Illinois.
In terms of money to put toward investment, Illinois has a significant share of its settlement money from the Volkswagen Clean Air Act civil settlement remaining. Well, the Sierra Club is a lobbying group, so what would you like to see the state do with that money?
We're really thrilled with the direction they've chosen. You know, Illinois had been headed towards spending some of these funds, and these funds came because Volkswagen lied to consumers about how clean their cars were or weren't. And so there's a large settlement that states have available funds for cleaner transportation. And what Governor Pritzker's done is said we're going to spend all of those funds on moving to electric vehicles, and particularly helping communities and consumers that wouldn't otherwise get the chance to move into an electric vehicle to make sure that they do have that chance. Because we want this to be a technology, we want these to be savings, and we want the cleaner air to benefit everyone.
Jack Darren, the director of the Sierra Club, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. That does it for Our Chicago. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.